All right, welcome everyone to the Directed IRA webinar.
What you're gonna do? Webcast?
I don't know.
Webcast?
I think I was actually gonna say the word website. I'll get better, guys. I promise. Well, this is Matt Sorensen here, Aaron Halderman, Directed IRA. We're also a hip clothing line. If you want to get some sweet polos, we're just marketing those.
It's like swag bros, directed bros.
Yeah. So we just happened to we didn't plan this. It just happened like this.
Literally, yeah. That's what the staff said this morning. It's pretty funny. We got a bunch of cool stuff though. For those of you that are coming to the summit, end of October here in Scottsdale, go to sdrisummit.com. You can check that out. We got a bunch of cool gear for those that'll be coming as well.
Yeah.
So you can come check it out.
Especially the VIPs.
That's right. That is
right. All right. Well, let's get in the topic. We're excited to be here. There's a lot going on in the crypto space and IRA space. And we just want to get some updates. We've had a lot more questions asked over the last few months as we really delved into crypto with customers' IRAs. So we're going to hit a lot of the typical questions that get asked and go over some of the structures and roadblocks some people hit as well. So, all right. Before we get too far, I'm an attorney. This is Matt Sorensen, the attorney now. He has to appear every once in a while. No one likes him. I don't take him to parties or anything. But on a webinar, he's got to give a disclaimer. And this is my disclaimer. This is educational. This is not attorney-client information, or this doesn't constitute a attorney-client relationship. Go seek out your own licensed professionals when conducting transactions or making investment decisions. Okay, back to the regular show. A little bit about me, and dude, you got to work on your own slide. I got this all about me. But
everyone is wondering where Mark was at. They're like, did he lose his hair?
Yeah.
It's like, we got a couple smart mouths. Huh?
Yeah. guys, that's pretty mean.
Put you in timeout.
So, but I'm the CEO at Directed IRA, wrote the #1 book on self-directed IRAs, the Self-Directed IRA Handbook, partner at law firm KQS Lawyers. I don't do too much work over there. Mostly spend my time at Directed IRA. We have the Self-Directed IRA Summit that I host with Mark each year. Aaron mentioned Aaron's going to be there. That's in October 22nd, 23rd in 22nd, 23rd or
22nd, 23rd.
22nd, 23rd October. It's a Friday, Saturday. Get there. It'll be in Scottsdale. It's going to be awesome. It's almost sold out though. So if you want to be there,
yeah,
get on it.
There's some tickets. You can go check it out. We also have the charity golf tournament. So don't forget about that. The summit's actually one full day on Saturday, the 23rd. And we have a charity golf tournament on Friday and an evening reception for our VIP guests, speakers, sponsors.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the format of it, but it'll be awesome.
Yeah. So I'm also a VIP contributor at Entrepreneur. So that's a little bit about me. Aaron's the CEO here at Directed IRA, runs a lot on the new account side, been heavily involved in our crypto, and we have a crypto team manager reports to Aaron. So he's got his hand in a lot of things over here. And he and I are going to be
tag team this one.
Yeah, tag teaming it. So
let me go over some housekeeping items real quick. So do us a favor, just put your questions over in the Q&A box so we can get to those. Don't put it in the chat. Just, we're not monitoring that. That's just for audio video purposes or to make any announcements that we need to. So fire it over into the Q&A box there. And we'll just kind of be doing Q&A throughout the event. This will be educational in nature, as Matt said, and we hope to get to as many questions as possible. We do have a number of our experienced senior staff over at Directed IRA that will be able to answer some IRA-specific questions as it relates to crypto. And as always, if you're interested in opening a new account, they'll help you out with that as well. So we got a full team here ready to go and ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
Ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, that's trademarked, by the way, not to be used as how the express rate of Directed IRA. Okay, let me give a little roadmap of what we're going to cover today. So we're going to talk about just the easy way to buy crypto in an IRA, which we think we have. We're going to go over that, talk about some industry competitors, some common questions everybody has about crypto in an IRA. You may have asked them already yourself and know the answer. There's a lot of people on here that have not faced some of those questions yet. We'll go over, we're using an Ira Llc to buy crypto, which is a separate structure than kind of the easy crypto IRA we're going to talk about. You can have private keys and you get on to altcoins and do other things. We'll talk about how to mine crypto. There's my partner, Mark, and our CFO, co-founder of Directed IRA, has a lot of videos on that. He mines crypto with his own Roth IRA, and we've got a lot of resources on that, but I want to touch that in a couple points that come up in some of this beyond the basics conversation. Then we're talking about some of the legal issues that are coming around. A lot of these lend products that Coinbase had, BlockFi, a lot of these places, we want to explain what the heck that is. I think there's a big misunderstanding on what it is. And once you understand what it is, you may understand why the SEC is chasing all these companies down and all the state securities divisions. So we want to explain that because we've seen a lot of interest and hype around it. We're also seeing a lot of regulatory enforcement on it that some of you may not like, but in the end, some of you may appreciate once you understand it. And then we're talking about some of just the stuff in the legislation on crypto for 1099s and just stuff you'll need to think about for compliance personally, which is one of the reasons you get an advantage in an IRA because you don't have to worry about some of the stuff. But we're going to hit that. So there's a lot on the agenda here. So I think we'll do is just hit a couple of how to do crypto first, then we'll maybe go in sections and take questions.
Yeah, let's
You
do
like
that.
Right.
That'll be cool. At the end of the day, all roads begin and end with opening a retirement account at Directed IRA,
Yeah.
though. Like that much, like you do have to do. So we're going to get to the cool strategies on that, you know, with us being retirement account experts and you getting exposure into cryptocurrency.
Yeah, and that's important to say. I mean, this is on this slide here. And by the way, this is going to be recorded and we'll post the slides in just a day or two up on our website. But as you can see over there, open crypto and fund your account. So if you've got an IRA at TD Ameritrade or Fidelity, you can't buy crypto with it. You can buy a stock, bond, or mutual fund. Well, Directed IRA has existed to let people buy whatever the heck they want with their IRA that fits in the law. You want to buy real estate, a startup, an LLC, a small business, cool. You want to buy crypto, we can do that too. So you move the funds over from the IRA custodian you're at, or maybe your old 401k you have that's invested in a mutual fund, you don't even know what the heck it is. You're going to move it over to Directed IRA. So you open up an account here. We're now custodian of your IRA, and it can be the full account move or just a partial transfer, whatever piece you may want to put into crypto.
Which is important if you want to diversify and not be completely, you know, all things in one bucket. Like we're totally cool with that.
And also, I mean, many clients over here do multiple things. They do crypto, they have a crypto account, they might have another self-directed account, they do another assets with. You can also set up an account and just make a first-year contribution. We've seen a lot of clients do that using HSA, a Coverdell maybe, do a backdoor Roth or a Roth IRA, or maybe one for your kids if they work in your business or have some income. Just we've seen a lot of clients.
Oh, I love the kids. I love that kids minor Roth IRA.
Yeah.
We get so many of those every day. I love, you know, I have 6 kids, so you know, they all need a crypto kids minor Roth IRA.
Yeah. They just have to have earned income. There's some tax rules on there. So, but if you have a small business, there's strategies on paying your kids, or maybe you got a kid with a summer job or something that they made a couple $1,000. Well, you could let them keep that money, but throw $2,000 in a Roth IRA and buy some crypto for them.
It's the best savings account you can have versus just putting it over there at Chase. You know, like get them a Roth.
Exactly. They can Roth and roll.
That's right.
So let me explain this first stage of the crypto IRA, and then Aaron, actually, I'll let you jump in here too. But just let me say, step one, as we said, you need a Directed IRA account, and there's other self-directed custodians, but we're going to distinguish others here in a moment and what you should look for when looking for an IRA custodian. But you're going to open your account here. Then we are going to create an account at Gemini. You're going to have a wallet that's going to be on the exchange. And you're going to have a Gemini login to trade your own IRA. So we are going to create an account where we have an institutional relationship with Gemini Trust Company. Aaron can explain why we've used them here in a moment. But and you're going to have your own account that's got your own fiat currency we fund it with. And you can go buy and sell crypto 24/7, 365. You're using Gemini's exchange. You can use their active trader structure and get their active trader fees. And then we have some fees, of course, on our end. But that's the 1-2 combo. Your IRA owns that Gemini account. You don't own it. Your IRA owns it. So it's going to be in the name of your IRA, like Directed Trust Company, FBO, Aaron Halderman, Roth IRA, for example.
Which I do have.
Yeah. That's who's on Aaron's account, you know? And so, and then Aaron just has a login as a trader to trade his account. So that's the basics of it. What else do you want to explain on that?
Yeah. So I think what's important to note is, like, we get asked security all the time.
Yeah.
and one of the reasons that, and you heard Matt just mention like Gemini Trust Company on Gemini's exchange. So Gemini is actually a licensed and regulated trust company. They have their trust charter in the state of New York, just like we're a licensed regulated trust company. Our trust charter is in the state of Arizona. Okay. And Matt just threw up their security page there. They have hundreds of millions of dollars worth of like crime insurance and protection. They hold most of the stuff in, offline cold storage, even on the exchange, and you don't have to pay any extra fees for that. So that's a huge deal. But if you just go to Gemini.com and hit the security tab, you can see their process and what they do. They have certain audits that they and certifications like their SOC 1 and SOC 2 audit certifications, which are huge and very hard to get. And time consuming. There's really just, I'd say them, Coinbase, probably Kraken. Kraken has a banking charter, and we chose Gemini because they're a licensed and regulated trust company. And we feel that like when dealing in the retirement account assets and funds that you have, that it would be important for us to select an institution that we feel good about too.
Yeah. And so there's other companies out there and they might have other cryptocurrencies you may be interested in that Gemini doesn't have. But as a financial institution ourselves, and we are audited by an outside auditor. We have 2 different CPA firms that audit us every year. We are audited by the banking department here in Arizona. We have to operate under these rules and have security, which I think in the end is good for everyone, for my account, for your account, for everyone's account here. And so when we picked Gemini, that's the reason we picked them, as Aaron said. They are at the front of the game in terms of compliance, insurance, audit, doing things the right way, and being a licensed trust company themselves. It's important. There's a lot of players in our space that are not licensed.
It's huge.
They're not a financial institution. They're not a trust company. They're not a bank. They've got some software. There's no SOC 1 or SOC 2 audit. By the way, a SOC 1 and SOC 2 audit is basically an audit on the software that says, we've looked at this, and from a financial services standpoint, we think you made the correct parameters and securities and
it's
controls.
What banks have.
Yeah.
It's what all banks have.
Yeah. So like if you're a financial institution, like a bank or a trust company, you can't just like go use the software. Like you've got to have a SOC 1 and SOC 2 audit done on the software. Gemini was the first or second to get it done on their exchange and their wallet, which is huge. And so, and I think a lot of people understand that. You just take it for granted, or maybe it just sounds like, I don't even know what this is, some acronym.
Yeah.
Who the hell cares? This website or this app looks super cool.
Yeah.
I bet it does, but has someone else looked at that and signed off on it to say we tested it?
Yeah.
So
it's a big deal. Let me point this out too, because of a lot of you, I think Coinbase you can, or Kraken you can't do in Washington. I think Coinbase is restricted maybe in Nevada and Hawaii. Don't quote me on this. I know there's some restrictions, but Gemini is available in all states now. So that they published that probably 4 to 6 weeks ago.
yeah,
They're in all states. Certain states that you're a resident of have some restrictions on you being able
Hawaii
to.
had one.
Yeah.
Big
So that doesn't, you're good with using Gemini's exchange. So that's partly why we did it. But let me just take a step back, to what Matt brought up. You got to get money into the account. Another reason why we went with this process is once you have money into your directed IRA account, we're transferring that to your Gemini trading account like that same day that it hits our account. It's just automatically going over, because when you create the account at directed, you're authorizing us to go ahead and fund that Gemini account, and boom, you're ready to go. So like if we got your funds from TD Ameritrade like today, this morning, we're going to fire that off this afternoon or first thing tomorrow morning, and it's going to be in your Gemini trading account for you to buy crypto.
Yeah.
That's another big reason.
Yeah.
Because you do the other structure that we'll get to in a minute. If you don't want to use Gemini, we have another solution for that too that we'll talk about in a minute. And it can take a while. It can take months.
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll have some tips on that. But okay, so there's this Gemini product. We think this is the best, easiest, especially for someone new to crypto.
Yeah.
This is the best way to do it, because we hold your hand really in getting it funded, and then we line you up with the Gemini login, and you just got to verify your identity, pick your password, so to speak, and you're in. And so some of these other ones you're kind of on your own, because you want to be a cowboy or cowgirl, and I get that.
That's a nice
And
touch.
yeah, and so we were in Texas last week. I understand.
That is, we were.
I
You're in
understand.
Austin.
So, okay. So now Gemini has 40 plus different cryptocurrencies. They've got
Mhm.
Bitcoin, they have Ethereum, the common stuff that's really some of the most popular, but they're missing some too. So we get that. And you don't have your private keys at Gemini. Like, okay, you're not going to have those. There's security controls you have to have for your IRA. If your IRA owns it directly, you just can't have it.
Mhm.
Uh, so sorry, I don't know how to say that. Okay.
Another thing too is you can have a personal Gemini account and also have a crypto IRA with us that is associated with Gemini. A lot of people do. So that's totally fine. You can also have an Ira Llc structure that we'll get to and also have a Gemini account. I'm just getting flooded with these same questions over and over. So I'm just going to hit them so y'all don't bounce off before you hear the answer to that.
Yeah. What about people that already own crypto and now they want to get it in the Roth IRA or just an IRA because they're like, man, if I had crypto in my Roth IRA and I sold it, I don't pay any
That'd been
tax.
amazing.
Yeah, that's I know, that's why we love this strategy. So what can I do with my existing crypto? Can I get that in an IRA?
Unfortunately not. No, can't do it. Sorry. Wish we could. If you could, everybody would be doing that. And
yeah.
so,
what we just say is stop buying more crypto in
Mhm.
your personal name, start buying it in your IRA. Because this is the thing, Mark Kohler, my partner, will always say, I don't want you to make money.
Mhm.
I want your IRA to make money. Okay. It's my Mark Kohler impersonation.
That was decent.
Yeah.
We might have
So
given you a 7.5.
so you can't get the crypto that you currently own. It's called the Privity Transaction. The IRS has said you can't do that. It's a pretty clear rule. So, but we can start with new money. And maybe you sell a little crypto personally to get some liquidity and you make a new contribution into your IRA with $6,000, or you transfer over some money that's in a mutual fund you can't stand and buy some, whatever. I mean, this is like, I buy crypto or don't. I don't care. Buy real estate, invest in a stock or mutual fund. You can do all here. I'm just saying, like, if that's what you wanted to do, like, here's the ways to do it.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because some people have been asking that very question. Can I have the crypto IRA, but also have an IRA that also buys real estate? Or can I also have the checkbook IRA LLC? The answer is yes. You can have all the above. We can do it all with this. Let me make one clarifying point though, because this is a unique structure that we have. If you just want to use the crypto IRA with Gemini's exchange, that's cool in its own separate IRA product that you have. If you also want to do real estate, you would just have another IRA account with us. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And it's totally cool. With thousands of people do that.
Yeah.
With us. So
yep. Okay, so now just quick on the fees for the crypto IRA with Gemini. So it's $295 annual fee. There's $50 to fund it. So you get another $50 on that. So was that $345? Then you've got a 1% trade fee that we have. So if you buy 10,000 in crypto, you're gonna have $100 fee with us. And Gemini is gonna have a 25 to 35 basis points. So again, you buy 10,000 in crypto, you're gonna pay them 25 to 35 bucks. So someone buying 10,000 in crypto at the end of the day, you might be at about $500 in fees to buy. And then when you're just holding it, you're going to have $295 each year, just as you're holding it for the long haul or whatever. Now, if you're trading a lot, this fee can add up, so you got to be careful if you want to trade. This could get expensive, especially those people that trade freaking every day in crypto.
And I'll say this on the fees, because we address this all the time. We're super competitive. We did our market research and analysis about what all is out there in the market space and like what we can do to like support that internally as a business and, and support your efforts as the self-directed investor. And, for right around a 1 point trade fee is great. Our IRA fees are already super low in the industry at $295 flat fee, regardless of how much money you have or, how many assets you're holding. It's easy. So that much we got covered. So that's pretty much it. So we feel we're spot on. Like some of our competitors you'll see out there, we get in-kind transfers from their IRAs that they had that bought crypto over to us because they were paying like 5 to 10 points
a year, not just when they trade. Yeah, some of them.
It's crazy.
And then when they trade, it's I don't know how they justify those fees, but we used to think it's the right thing. And some of those were early adopters in the crypto space and they just got away with it. But Okay, so this is just this Gemini product. And for people, a lot of people will start down this next path, the Ira Llc we're going to talk about here in a minute, and they get frustrated. They're like, this is hard. I know. That's why we made this Gemini IRA product, to make it easy. You picked the hard one, you know? It's like, I don't know, you want to lift like 100-pound dumbbells, or do you want to just do the 20s a bunch of times? Maybe that's a terrible analogy. It doesn't even match up. But you know what I mean? Like, the LLC here has got some perks, and there's a lot of reasons why I think some of you should do it, but it is harder. So that being said, there's just that cracking that one is a little more difficult. We take care of you over here. We got a streamlined product. We got a team. The Gemini system is pretty great. It's dialed in for you. You get over here, which we're going to talk about, take some action on your part. And there are some roadblocks some people do run into. Okay, so let's explain this one. This is the original one, really. This is, you know, in my video in 2017, I shot about how to buy crypto in an IRA.
Put it in here.
Yeah, it's in my book. That was the 2018 edition of my book, second edition, most recent, up to date still. So the Ira Llc is like the most widely used structure in self-directing for real estate. And we just took that same structure and decided, let's use it for crypto. Here's the first problem you have when you want to buy crypto with an IRA. Well, I got to link a bank account to some exchange or wallet. Like, I got to get fiat currency over to some account that I can use to exchange it for crypto, Bitcoin, or whatever you want to buy. And my IRA custodians, you know, we were like, well, how do I link you up to an exchange? The exchanges didn't want to talk to any of us. So we're like, well, let's have the IRA own an LLC 100%, as we have here in the diagram. So your IRA owns an LLC 100%. You're the manager of the LLC, and you're going to have a bank checking account with the LLC. That bank checking account and the LLC will get funded from your IRA. So rather than your IRA owning crypto, your IRA owns an LLC. The LLC has a bank account, which it links to an exchange. And you typically have a wallet. And this could be offline, this could be cold storage, this could be on an exchange, whatever, it doesn't matter, just as long as your IRA pays for it. So if you're buying like a nano ledger or something offline, your IRA's got to pay for it. Don't put it on the same one that you have all your personal crypto. But okay, you've got the LLC, you're linking it to a wallet and exchange, and you can trade your crypto here now, your dollars in the LLC bank account for crypto. Now it took me a couple steps, but at the end of the day, I used IRA funds, and my IRA owns Bitcoin. Now, I shot my first video on this in 2017, and it was like Bitcoin was $2,500. And I was like, this is crazy. Can you do it? Yeah. Should you do it? I don't know. Maybe I should take a stronger position. But see, what do I know? See, that's why you don't want to take investment advice from me. What the frick do I know? I mean, we're the tax and legal experts. You decide what to buy and what to sell. All right. So that's the structure here on the Ira Llc. Now, here's some perks to it. You could go wherever wallet exchange you want. You want to do altcoins, you want to buy ADA or XRP or stuff that's not on Gemini. You want to buy Solana. You can't get it on Gemini. You can get it here though. So you could link to an exchange where you could get it there. You can even just buy peer-to-peer from someone. You know, you don't have to buy from an exchange. And so the LLC gives that benefit. More opportunities to buy different altcoins, or I should say stuff not on Gemini. The second benefit of this is your trade fees are going to be lower, frankly. You're not paying us 1%.
That's correct.
Frankly, because we're not doing anything. Back on the other thing, we have to manage your account and monitor it. There's a lot of interaction between us and Gemini. There's a whole team involved. We got to charge for that. Over here, you're doing your own thing. We're not involved. You don't call us for questions. It's you. You're managing the LLC back here. All right. So, so that's one perk, less fees over the long haul. Now, to set it up, it's more. The Ira Llc is going to cost you $800 plus the state filing fee. Those of you in California, you're going to have to pay $800 a year to the state of California. That's just the California weird $800 fee. The law firm fee, and our law firm, Mark and I have a law firm, KKO Lawyers, we set up the Ira Llcs for these structures.
Can you do the solo 401k?
Absolutely. And in fact, you could do a solo K back this way. and just do a crypto solo 401k, or you could have a crypto solo. You can have a bank account in your solo K directly and skip the Ira Llc possibly too. We'll be doing some solo K webinars. We'll probably do one in November. Actually, we do a special in November. So probably the November webinar will be on solo Ks.
See a few of you asking questions on like the trust or self-directed IRA trust option or business trust, or you're only seeing the LLC option. I know Matt's very passionate about the trust option.
Yeah. Did I ever write an article on that? I did. Maybe I didn't.
If not, you know what? We didn't.
I don't
and
think
you
I
need
did.
to.
I
Yeah.
need to. Yeah. We don't love the trust, the business trust, or that your IRA owns. As an attorney, I looked at it many, many times and wanted to be able to set it up because it would be an awesome solution for my California clients. I probably could have set up to over 10,000 of them and charged for that. Just seriously. I mean, I'm motivated to like those. I don't. There's just the case law sucks on it. There's trustee issues in the IRA rules on who can be trustee of your IRA. And if my IRA just owns another trust 100%, well, who can be trustee of that trust? Does it need to be my IRA custodian? Can I really be that? It's different than LLC manager or president of a corporation. It's a mess. We don't want to touch it. I just don't want thousands of clients on it. Now, I've always said, every time someone brings one over here at Directed IRA, because I reject them and I'm the bad guy. But I always say, you got an attorney that'll sign off on it and say it complies with retirement account rules, all funded over here. You can use an IRA trust over here all day long. Never seen one. Now, when we did IRA LLCs back in the day in like 2005 and 6, when hardly anyone was doing them and all the IRA custodians were like, what the heck are these? We would write letters. We formed an opinion letter. We wrote a memo to clients that supported that. We still do it today because as the professional, we want to back it up to say, hey, this is okay. As long as you fit within these parameters and you operate it properly, you're not going to have an issue in violating the IRA rules. So the IRA trusts were just a little gun shy on. I just never felt comfortable enough to give green light on it. If you find an attorney that'll sign off on it, we'd love to help you. I just don't know the person to send you to that'll sign off on it. The people that do it and sell it, frankly, are people that have websites and they're working from their basement. They have no legal credentials. They're not licensed. And they're selling you something that you want, but probably shouldn't have, you know?
Let me say this, because we got a lot of questions coming in. We got hundreds of people on. We had almost 1,000 people register for this thing alone. If we don't get to your question and you have specific questions as it relates to an IRA or the difference between an IRA LLC or a difference between a solo 401k, or should I do the IRA LLC or just your crypto IRA account with Gemini, just go to directedira.com. In the upper right-hand corner, click schedule a new account appointment. And it's entirely free. You can select it from many of our senior account reps and, you know, select a day and time, 15 or 30-minute time slots. Easy peasy. That's what I say to my kids all the time. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Yeah. Love that. Okay. I had some questions. This came in. Some people sent me in some questions before the webinar.
Yeah. You got some in an email.
Yeah. That's why I grabbed my phone. I wasn't texting. Okay. I don't text in webinar, guys.
Yeah.
I just want you to let you know that. Okay. Don't
Some
text
people
and drive
do.
either.
Some people do that.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying.
Yeah. I'm like, hello, I'm on your webinar.
Yeah.
Okay. This is an email from a client.
And thanks everyone for the great questions. Keep them coming. Just put them over in the Q&A box. You know, some of our staff are answering them, and we're going to answer some live right now as well. Okay. Got us a good one.
Yeah. So this question about IRA LLC. So if you have an IRA LLC, what things can you expense in it? You know, well, let's say you bought an offline ledger, a nano ledger, or you bought some type of wallet that's offline. That's an actual hardware device. You could have paid for that. What about your fees on the exchange over here? You could pay for that. Well, what if can I own real estate in this LLC too? Sure. This LLC could have a crypto. I have this structure, by the way, because I did mine back in 2017. Before I explained to other people how to do it, I had to do it myself. I have this. My LLC owns a rental and it has a wallet and exchange account at Coinbase. Okay. What about expenses if you have to travel to your rental property? Can the LLC pay for that? No. Okay. You personally traveling to your rental property, is that really necessary? And there's a little bit self-dealing there. So we're concerned, just separate note, just that came up in this question, but expenses that are personal in nature, you're like, well, man, I got to go, I got to go to XY, I got to go to Miami, you know,
Mhm.
there's the Bitcoin conference. Can my LLC pay for it?
Mhm.
No. Okay. But you can go there and
Mhm.
maybe you buy crypto personally or have a business that you could expense that in.
Mhm. Another
But
business.
another business,
Yeah.
but not with your IRA. Okay. We're not looking for expenses with your IRA. Your IRA doesn't pay taxes. We don't want
Mhm.
money to go out of that and do expenses in the end of the game. It's not a good idea. Okay. What if your investment in the self-directed IRA goes belly up? Can you write off the loss in this structure or back here? Any, and this could be any IRA asset. Can you write off the loss? No. That's the deal with IRAs. You don't pay taxes and you don't get losses either. So some people think, well, I could take the loss in my IRA and then I'll go put it on my personal return and offset it. No, you don't pay tax, but you don't get the tax loss either. So sorry, bad news. There is a little caveat to that, by the way. If you really wiped out and are broke, like literally insolvent and you had significant IRA losses during the Bernie Madoff days, the IRS did allow some losses that are still in the code. I should say Congress put some in. So there are some losses on IRAs, but your account has, all accounts have to be wiped out to zero. Then they let you start doing some offsetting on your personal taxes.
So speaking on the LLC, so I'm mining, right? I'm going to mine. And there's a cool video that Mark did on mining. You just go to his YouTube channel. Oh, looks like you got it right there.
Yeah.
There you go. It's like how to mine crypto in a Roth IRA. If you want to see the full video, but here's the slide. But let me ask you this. Can my rig be kept in an office building that an LLC of mine owns?
No. Oh, that an LLC of yours owns?
Yes.
Personally or your
My
IRA LLC?
No, another LLC.
Oh, no. Yeah, see, that's not a problem. So let's go to crypto mining here. Let's say you use an LLC structure. We'll talk about this here in a minute. This is a little crazy. This is a pretty long video that Mark shoots. It's like 13 steps on how to buy crypto with your Roth IRA. Mark, I just invested in crypto. Mark likes to mine in crypto.
Mhm.
Whatever. He always likes to do the hard things. So, but remember, your retirement account or an IRA LLC, it cannot benefit from you nor your personal company. So when you go buy mining equipment over here, let's say you have an IRA LLC that goes and buys mining equipment. I mean, the LLC would pay for it. The LLC could sell it later for profit or loss. Hopefully the mining is going to generate some income. You're going to make money on it. But the tricky part is, where would I put it? Can I put it at my house? No, because it's going to be stored at your home and on your personal electricity. No, what if I pay the bill partially with my LLC? I don't.
Rental property?
Yeah, what if I rental? No, maybe one your IRA LLC owns, but not one you personally own. So there's just some self-dealing there. So, all right, let's jump back though to this IRA LLC. Couple notes on this. And let's see if there's any questions on just the IRA LLC and we'll hit crypto mining. So this is a single member LLC for tax purposes, which means there's no tax return required with the IRS, but you do have to keep the LLC up to date with the state. Now, some states are easy, some states are a pain in the butt. Arizona, where we're at, you set up your LLC, you pay your first year fees. They don't want to hear from you again. No annual fee, no annual filing, nothing. You just tell them when you're done and you're out of the game, and then you pay them a fee and you dissolve. Otherwise, you're in. Some states like California, they want you to pay $800 for an LLC because you get the beach and Gavin Newsom. So, you got to pay $100 for that stuff. That stuff ain't cheap. Aaron moved from California last year. So
yeah, those businesses were wound down too.
Yeah. Was I a little too harsh? Should I have not made a Gavin Newsom joke? There was the recall election just yesterday. So he won. Okay. He won, whether you're a fan of his or not. He was in the news. I thought it was topical. Even, the comedians, the late night comics, they get to make jokes about both sides. So don't hate on me. All right. What do you got on LLCs? Any questions we want to field here?
So, well, I do want to take a step back because I'm getting a bunch of questions on how we compare to other competitors and stuff. So I'm just going to address it again because we talked about it early on. So a couple of our bigger competitors, I'm not going to mention their names, but if you Google crypto IRA or cryptocurrency IRA, you're going to see the big three, and we're one of the big three. on there. So you can figure out who I'm referencing. Okay. So on your own research.
That was like a choose your own adventure, you know.
It was tricky.
What are you going to Google? Crypto IRA or cryptocurrency IRA? It's gonna, there's the story. Okay.
So the reason I bring this up though, and Matt hit on it earlier, is, again, we're a licensed and regulated trust company. Okay. The other ones are not. They're a platform. They're essentially a software as a service company that
have a middleman.
They have some cool, they're a middle person. They have some cool software. They've integrated with whatever exchange, I don't know. What they do list is who is the actual custodian of the crypto, okay, who's the wallet provider. And so that they do list, and it's like typically the same one. There's only a few that are really big that would be worth, Gemini, Coinbase, BitGo, Curve. Like that's really it, so
that are licensed. Maybe cracking.
Yeah. So and that's the standpoint. As far as how we stack up against them, well, our fees are the same, if not cheaper, and our IRA fees are definitely cheaper. So and here, but I hate kind of comparing pricing. It is important though, because it does add up on the trade fees. So I do respect that and recognize that. But here's what I'll say. We're freaking amazing at customer service and picking up the phone and answering your questions and delivering content like this. None of our other competitors are. Yeah. Good luck trying to talk to somebody, like you can pick up the phone, you can email us, you can try and chat with us. Like we're doing it all. And our goal is to help process your investment quickly and you self-direct and take control of your retirement. So that's what I'll say on, just how do we stack up against the competition? The other thing is, if you want to do the Ira Llc and you don't like the crypto Gemini structure, cool. Go rock and roll with the Ira Llc. Go do your yield farming. Go do your staking. Go do your rigging. Go, your mining with your rigging. Mining, rigging.
Okay, so we know what you're saying.
Yeah,
we know what you're saying.
You want altcoins. You want to do some DeFi stuff. There's stuff on Gemini. That you want, like ADA, for instance. Cool. Go do the Ira Llc structure. We'll help you do that too. Yeah. Or do both. Like get you a Gemini, crypto IRA with Gemini trading account with us, and also do an Ira Llc structure. Rock and roll.
Yeah. Now here's the biggest roadblock on the Ira Llc that we didn't mention, actually.
Okay.
This part right here is not as easy as you think. That's why we created the Gemini product and have IRAs that own an exact account, trading account that your IRA owns specifically. So you don't have to go through the nonsense of trying to set this up. Mm-hmm. Now, when I did my first one in 2017 with this structure right here, I used Coinbase. Coinbase was busy back then, but not like they have been this last year or two. Mm-hmm. Or really last year. So I was able to get that set up. I just did they had a business account back then, and it got set up, and my LLC owns it, and easy peasy. Now, when you go over there, they're basically an individual institution. There's no I'm just an LLC with my IRA in the middle. They don't really have that. So they push you down institutional like you're a $100 million hedge fund. And you'll see when you go through Coinbase, they'll ask you, how much are you looking to invest per year? Under 50 million? 50 million to 100 million? 100 million to 500 million? You're like, geez, I guess I'm in the 0 to 50 million bucket, And the problem was this last year, they were so busy. When you put an app in for an institutional account with Coinbase, and this is all the big companies, Gemini, Kraken, any of the big ones, they were like, we'll get to you in 9 months. I'm not looking at any of the ones that are in the 0 to 50 million bucks. All the ones over here that are going to do way more money, we don't have people that have talked to them yet for a month. So we saw people waiting 3 or 4 months to get those accounts set up. Now, Coinbase has gotten a little better at this in the last few weeks, actually, just alone. We've even had some of our employees here do some accounts for some crypto trading. They did them themselves. We had one employee on Coinbase just get it set up within a day. And so, but you want to get to the right link. So this is the hard thing with these. Yeah. It's kind of like when you're working with a company, you got to get to the right person at the business that actually knows and has done what you're trying to do. With some of these big companies now, you got to get to the right link and page to get that type of account set up that you need.
It's like they got 3. It's like they got the personal one, a business one, and an institutional one. It's like some have 2, some have like 3 links.
Yeah.
You're like,
choose. And some of them are their old one that they've been using. And And but the Coinbase one, if someone on the team could share that, it was shared in our chats and everything, and I've shared it to our team internally. If you could share that link for those that want to be using Coinbase, at least they've got a much better institutional process set up. That's online. You upload your docs, and we've seen those set up as early as 24 hours where the account's set up. Okay, other thing to know. A lot of times when you're setting up these new accounts, you're gonna have trade limits. Like they'll be like, we'll only let you fund 25,000 in the first 30 days, or what, they have a time limit. And then like, and then we'll let you fund more, and you can fund more and more, and they have a process for it. You can request to fund more. Now, if you have a relationship with that exchange with other money on it on a different account, you might be a little different, get some different treatment. And there's some exchanges and wallets that don't care. They don't put a cap on it, or their caps are way above amounts you trade anyways. But again, some of them will limit new customers on how much they can trade. And I've seen some at 25. I had a customer be like, I was hoping to do over 100 grand, and I got stuck at 25. Okay. Other issue we've seen, some clients we've had to come back and say, hey, the bank I used for my LLC business checking account's like, you're doing crypto? We're going to shut that down. You can't do crypto in your IRA.
They close it down.
Yeah. Now, this is a problem because the banks, so many of the banks now are invested in different crypto projects. They're buying crypto companies. They're investing in crypto startups in their corporate development departments. I mean, they're like, the train's left the station. I was gonna say the train's left the barn. I always mix my metaphors. The train's left the station. I did get it right. And now the banks are like, well, we better get on this. The problem is they have risk management departments internally. They don't want a lot of crypto accounts. They think it's a high risk exposure. If you're not an important customer to them, no offense, they're going to probably close your account. Now, some banks have taken the crypto thing and been like, we're just going to run with crypto. You want to do it? Great. We can get you in touch with some of those banks if you have problems, and they're not shy about crypto accounts. But let's say you walk into a Wells Fargo or one of the big banks at Chase, and you walk in with Crypto Investment Holdings LLC. They're going to be like, so you're doing crypto, huh? I think I need to check with my manager on that. All right. So for one thing, we don't like crypto in the name of your LLC. Just do XYZ Investments LLC or something more generic. Don't throw the word crypto or, something like that that's going to flag a bank to start asking you millions of questions. It's going to get you over to risk management, and they're going to determine whether they want to keep your bank account or not. So just as a planning strategy, try to keep crypto out of the name of your LLC. When we do the LLC documents, we just say that the purpose of the LLC is just general investing. We don't really get into what you're going to invest in, because you can. We want this LLC to be open. You can do real estate. You can lend money out of it. You could do crypto. We're just keeping it open. We're not going to specify just only what you're going to do and create you a risk management problem potentially at some of these banks. Okay.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's a good rant.
Yeah. That was another question that did come in. I just remembered it. I didn't even need to look at my phone. Okay. Now this crypto mining, we're not going to have time to go over this. And many of you are familiar with this content if you've seen any of our stuff. If you haven't, get to our site, directedira.com, learn. We have some videos on crypto. Someone can drop in Mark's.
I'm going to do it right now.
Mark's video. Aaron will drop that in on Mark's video on how to mine crypto in your Roth. Here's the problem with mining. And this is one of the topics, advanced topics we want to discuss too. If you want to mine crypto in your IRA, the income you get on mining in an IRA is different than the income you get on trading in your IRA. When you're trading crypto in your IRA, buying crypto for 40,000 Bitcoin, sell it at 45,000 per Bitcoin, you have a 5,000 gain. When you do that in your IRA, you don't pay tax. That's one of the cool things about IRAs. You get to run that 45,000 and keep investing it again and again and keep growing it. And if it's a Roth IRA, it's going to come out totally tax-free at retirement. If it's a traditional, it's tax deferred. You pay taxes as you pull the money out later on in life when hopefully you're in a lower tax bracket. Mining income in an IRA though, or mining crypto, is being labeled as ordinary income by the IRS. It's not trading income. It's not capital gain income selling for profit or loss. So mining is considered ordinary income to the IRS, which for your IRA means it's likely going to be subject, we're 95% sure that it'll be subject to this tax called UBIT in an IRA. Whole chapter in my book on UBIT in general, but it'll hit your IRA and it's a 37% federal tax that your IRA pays on the income it makes. Now, if you're doing a little bit of this, you're doing a little bit of mining, a little bit of staking, you make under $1,000 a year, don't worry. That there's no, you get $1,000 automatic deduction where you don't need to pay it or worry about it. But if you're really going after this and trying to make some money on crypto mining or even staking, and there's some distinctions on staking, but just know that there's that tax. Because of that tax, we've created some structures that can minimize that tax from 37% down to 21%. It's called the corporate blocker. Outlined in this slide here, you're basically gonna have 2 LLCs to pull this off. This is basically your holding company where you're gonna hold your crypto for the long haul. And you're gonna have a wallet here. Up here, you're gonna have your LLC that is doing crypto mining. And that LLC is getting paid in Bitcoin or other crypto typically. But once you make that crypto income from mining, you're going to transfer the crypto down to hold for appreciation down to your holding company. Because if you hold it up here, you're going to pay tax on it as it appreciates. We don't want to do that. You got to push it down here to this other entity, which you won't pay tax and it appreciates. It's a little complicated, not enough for today, but just know this is the structure here. We want this structure to get you from 37% down to 21%. Now,
that's a lot.
That's a lot. And I know that's a lot.
And we're going to hook you up with the slides. So don't worry. You're going to
so
see that.
Mark does a great job explaining this. And like I said, he's done it himself. Some of the other attorneys in our law firm have been doing crypto mining also. And I've got some good explainers on how that works. Okay, now here's a point I wanted to make. We've seen a number of companies in this space say, hey, you can do crypto mining with your IRA and just use your IRA with us. We're going to have it on a trust, or it's just going to buy crypto, and you're just going to hire a company like ours to manage it, and we'll store the, hardware you've bought, and we're going to service it and do all the work. And IRA is just passively owning the equipment. And we're like, okay, it's still UBIT. Like, that didn't solve your UBIT problem. Like, you got those privity transaction issues where your IRA can't buy equipment and be at your house, or you're tinkering on it, personally. Like, those are restrictions for your IRA, but you still have UBIT. But Matt, I'm passive. My IRA is not doing anything. Well, IRAs are always passive. IRAs can't do anything. Like, if my IRA buys real estate and it goes and does a whole home development and it pays people to do it, but my IRA was passive, Matt. Was it? My IRA bought a bus and I charged people to ride the bus, and I paid someone to drive the bus and another person to maintain the bus. Isn't my IRA passive and there's no UBIT? I'm not getting business income. Really? I don't know. You do. And so we just think there's an issue with the UBIT, because the IRS has came out and said mining income is ordinary income. We're a little concerned. We think it's going to fall into UBIT. There's not been a clear direction from the IRS. Frankly, this is not a priority for them. They got a lot of other, issues they're trying to work through on crypto alone, let alone all the other stuff they've had to deal with the pandemic and all the tax changes. But
so that's our stance on it.
So that's our stance.
That's our stance. There's been other things that have been published recently, and we agree to disagree.
Yeah,
we think we're right.
Yeah, and again, this is one that goes against your interest. Me saying you can do this, I'd set up way more accounts. This is hard to sell. A lot of clients see this and are like, yeah, it sounds tricky. I'm just not for me. I'm like, I know. And I'm just trying to tell you, if you're going to do it, this is the right way to do it. And it's complicated and expensive, but it's the right way to do it. It's so much easier for me to just be like, hey, go buy this crypto mining equipment here. They're going to service it. Just tell me where to send your money for your IRA. That's an easy account for us.
Yeah, there's some cool vendors out there, or I should say service providers, that have these kind of turnkey mining, operations where you buy the rigs, they service it all, they store it all. It's completely turnkey and passive, but it still would generate UBIT.
Yeah.
That's the issue of like what we're dealing with now. And those companies are awesome. And if it makes sense to you and you run like your ROI calculator and it turns out to be cool, then more power to you.
Yeah. Now staking, we're a little less certain on that, where I'm like 95% mining income is going to have UBIT. Even when you do nothing, your IRA just owns the equipment and someone else services it and handles it. Staking is a little different. We think I still believe it's going to be subject to UBIT, but even internally with the in my law firm, we have 14 attorneys and half of them are tax lawyers. So this gets debated and there's some good arguments we think on the staking side. Still likely to be crypto, but it's not as clear cut. So if you want to be a pioneer and not have UBIT, you may be doing staking and be okay, but just know that's unsettled. You're a pioneer and you're going into a pretty, Wild West wilderness.
So you said something on UBIT, I don't think you mentioned yet, is when we were talking before the webinar, regular and consistent.
Carried on. Yeah.
Carried on. Thank you.
Yeah.
Regular and carried on. Hit on that real quick. So
yeah. So UBIT is a section of the code, and this is compliments of Kevin Kennedy, by the way, one of the attorneys here.
He'll be at the summit.
Our tax lawyers. Yeah, he'll be at the summit. Awesome guy. He'll be playing on the KQS Lawyers golf team, by the way. He was, he was quite the high school golfer. He's got some trophies from high school that he still carries around.
It's on the JV team. Let's not get carried away. We love you, Kevin.
Yeah. Kevin doesn't watch this stuff. We can say whatever we want. Anyways, he's a very smart guy and great tax lawyer here and at the law firm.
Mhm.
And he said, so he made some good points on it. Basically, in UBIT, this is unrelated business income tax. It applies to your IRA when you basically get business income as opposed to investment income. And there's certain exceptions that are automatically exempt from UBIT, like rental income, capital gain income, interest income, a lot of the vanilla stuff, frankly, that people self-direct. Well, when crypto came along, it's like, all right, well, capital gain income is what happens when I buy and sell crypto. So I'm good on buying and selling. That's automatically exempt.
Mhm.
What's mining? Well, I can't fit mining into any exception. So is it subject to UBIT? Well, if it's regular and carried on, it is. Those are the words, regular and carried on by the retirement account. So if you do a little bit of it here and then you buy some stock and then you trade some crypto and, then you buy a rental property, you're probably not going to have it. But if you're like, man, I put 50,000 in to do crypto mining, I bought 5 rigs and whatever, okay. And I've been doing it for 4 years. I think you're gonna have UBIT, So there's a lot of nuance to that conclusion that we should probably state. So just know it's a developing area. But again, if you're going in on mining, the IRS has already said it's ordinary income. Ordinary income, 99% of the time, it means UBIT. So just be careful on that. And that's why we have this structure here. Okay.
I like that.
Anything else on mining?
No, there's a lot of questions on that. Like, I'll just say, like, again, to wrap it up, mining subject to UBIT, do the Ira Llc structure. You're not going to do it with an IRA custodian. You're going to, if you want to use a retirement account, Ira Llc structures for you. That's just what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And so, have a consult with one of the attorneys over at KQS, get your structure set up accordingly. We'll be the IRA custodian. Happy to assist in that. And then you can do it. Let me just make one other comment. Like, more oftentimes than not, let's say that, it would be subject to UBIT. That's okay. Like, again, just like run your, use an ROI calculator and do your own investment analysis, just like you would on a real estate deal.
Mhm.
Like, we're not saying like, don't do it or don't like we're just like, use your own judgment. Here's what the code is saying. Here's our stance on it. But you get to take control of your retirement and self-direct. So go do what you want to do. Like, we don't know what's going to happen on staking, but just be prepared, though, to run it accordingly, that it would be subject to UBIT. And if it's not, then, man, you lucked out.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, cool. Okay. There are some legal developments, if you've been following the news as it relates to crypto, I want to talk about. And this is a really common topic over here that is probably the most understood thing about crypto, but isn't that complicated. I don't think. Maybe that's lawyer Matt again. Okay.
Just education.
Yeah. All right. Okay. You probably heard in the news, Coinbase, basically SEC came to and said, we're going to sue you if you come out with your lend product. Now, many of the places have a product like this. Gemini has Earn. BlockFi has, I don't know what they call it, but they got their own lending product essentially. Any of these places where they say, hey, you own crypto, put it up with us and we'll pay you X% interest.
And lend it out.
And lend it to us, So, you've got, 2 Bitcoin, we're going to pay you 10%, on that while you hold it here with us. You're going to have to lend it to us though. It's like me lending Aaron money or me lending Aaron crypto. Okay. Aaron has the money now. You don't have it anymore. Aaron has the crypto.
Yes.
Okay. Now I hope Aaron's going to pay me back.
You better hope.
But if he doesn't do so hot, he's going to lose my money or my crypto. Now, let's say you're on Coinbase and you were to do this lend product. Who's the borrower you're lending it to? Do you know? It's not Coinbase. If you're on Gemini and you're doing Gemini Earn, you're lending your crypto because you want yield. You've seen, you can get 5%, 10%, 200%. I've seen these ridiculous ones out there. Gemini's not the borrower. Okay. When you're lending on BlockFi, again, who's the borrower? It's not BlockFi. Even though you can look at these companies like, oh, they're backed by all these huge VC firms.
Doesn't matter.
Gemini's licensed. Coinbase has got some licenses. They're both audited. I'm feeling good. How could they not pay me back? They're not the borrower. So who's the borrower? Genesis. Okay, Genesis.
Another party, another institution.
Another institution that, if you're familiar in the crypto space, they're the largest liquidity provider, basically facilitating crypto as it's exchanging, because me and Aaron buying and selling crypto on exchange, Aaron selling, me buying, it doesn't automatically go like that. It's not like I just transferred crypto to it. There's the exchange making the agreement on us buying and selling between each other, but there's a liquidity provider in the middle. This is usually Genesis. They do this on all the major exchanges.
They own Grayscale, or their parent company owns Grayscale.
Yeah, they're huge. And so they're the one that has the exposure on this. When you lend, they're the ones that actually are paying this rate at the end of the day. And they're charging their customers, because they have big institutional customers that use them, that are paying them because when there's a little bit of liquidity between me and you buying and selling $10,000, $50,000, they don't need it. But there's large trades coming in where liquidity is needed. And this is sometimes liquidity is needed for a couple hours, but they need to pool this, which is why they've been doing these lend and earn and all these products. Now, I love the idea of owning crypto and having the upside of it increasing in value. So if I lent you one Bitcoin, you got to pay me back one Bitcoin, whether it goes up or down in value. So if it doubles, you got to give me that same Bitcoin back.
Plus my 5% yield.
Plus the yield. Guys, I love that. I look to do this on Gemini myself. I went to their Earn program, and it's the same as all those other places. It's basically the same thing. I read the actual documents on it. Scared the hell out of me. I was like, we have a relationship with Gemini, don't get me wrong, that I love, but I'm like, I don't want to lose my crypto. I'm banking on that to go up in value. And this is just personally just Matt Sorensen here. So just be wary on these lend products. It's not like it's at this interest rate you get at the bank that's FDIC insured that can't lose your money, or a CD at the bank that pays you a certain yield. This is an unsecured loan to an LLC that uses it to provide liquidity in the markets.
That's a security.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what that is.
So that's what the SEC has came out and said. There's, 10 state securities commissions going after BlockFi. I don't know if the SEC's on them too. The SEC's all over Coinbase right now on this issue. So it's not the crypto itself, and some of these headlines are a little confusing. SEC's not coming after Coinbase for like buying and selling crypto.
It's their product.
The lend product. Because what you're doing is, it's basically like, let's say you're a real estate guy, because this is just the world I've been in for years, or you're a small business.
This is a good comparison, though.
Okay,
that's a good comparison.
And you say, hey, I want to go buy an apartment building, and I want 100 people to lend me $1,000, and I'll have, maybe I want them to lend me $10,000, so I'll have $1 million that I can put down, and I'll go get a loan for the other two, and I'm going to buy a $3 million apartment building. Matt, how come I can't just go out and tell people I'll pay them 10% interest on their money in a loan, and I'll have 100 people give me $10,000? Can I do that? I'd be like, you definitely can't. The SEC will chase you down. That's a security. You're going to have to register it. It's going to have to be a Reg D offering. It might cost you 20, 25 grand in legal fees. You're probably only going to be able to take money from accredited investors. There's a whole process here. Same thing if you're a small business. You're like, Matt, I want to raise money from 100 people. $1,000 each,
Mhm.
you know, $100,000. I'm going to open a second location at my business. Can I go put up a website and say, I'll give you 8% on your money? No. Okay. That's all. The SEC's gonna be chasing that one down too. It's the same with crypto. I don't know why they thought they'd be treated any different. You know,
Yeah.
I just think they're a little more.
Do this for due diligence, because we talk about do your due diligence. Matt and Mark have a great section or video and articles they've written on doing your own due diligence on deals with using an IRA. Go read the actual documentation that you're having to acknowledge in order to participate in that yield product. So go read, BlockFi, go read Gemini Earn, and you'll see, and just do your due diligence. That's all we're saying. Go do that.
Yeah. This is the one I know we always click through on stuff. It's like terms and conditions, read, approve, read, approve. This is one stop. Read those.
Copy, paste, put in a Word doc,
Print.
read it later.
Yeah. Like this is like, whoa, this is the document that you're lending your crypto on. And it's the only thing you have to try to get paid back. There's no security. It's not secured with anything.
What was the other company we didn't put up there? Oh, Celsius.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're coming under scrutiny as well. I think they might have been one of the bigger lenders as well.
Yeah.
So
all
go
of
read
any
all
of them
that.
doing the lend are going to have this issue. So if it's a small operator, they're going to be lower on the list for SEC. Frankly, it's where the most fraud is. But the bigger ones are just, they get the headlines, and the SEC really, they have to put their resources to the big companies first.
Matt, let's clarify some of the UBIT as it relates to trading, because I think some people are a little confused thinking that they're going to generate UBIT in just their daily trading, weekly trading activities, kind of comparing it to real estate. It's like, well, if I flip more than 3 deals, am I going to generate UBIT?
Yeah. Good question.
So that let's draw that comparison real quick.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. You do have to worry about it in real estate and flips, like how many properties can my IRA buy and sell? We call it a flip, less than 12-month hold. And there's kind of this rule for UBIT. If you're doing 1 or 2, fine. You're not in the business of it. 3 or 4, you're great. Or 5 or more, your IRA is going to have UBIT because it's in the business of doing real estate now. Buying and selling crypto is more like buying and selling and day trading stock. And so there's not improvement going on into the asset. It's harder to call inventory for tax purposes. And so it's going to be more just like stock. So you could day trade crypto if you wanted, and you're not going to run into UBIT. There's some good news, I guess.
I got a lot of people asking about, a bank, that we could recommend. Well, we have a few sponsors, at the summit. You can go to sdrisummit.com, see some of our banking partners, but Titan Bank is a good one. It's just titanbank.com. They're in the heavily into the crypto space. They won't turn that account down.
Yeah.
To open up that.
Yeah.
They have tons of IRA LLCs, solo 401ks. You'll see it right on their page, like retirement accounts, and you can open up an IRA. They're not custodian. Again, they're using us as the IRA custodian of the IRA, but you can get a business bank account with them for your solo K or your LLC.
Yeah.
Or just a regular personal LLC.
Yeah. And the reason that I mentioned them on this crypto topic is because they do have kind of a crypto division within their bank.
Yep.
And they understand the risk management of it. And it's not going to get yanked like you would at, let's say, Wells Fargo, if you don't have a big relationship with them there. I just even here, we use Wells Fargo for certain things. So I don't mean to crap on them. We've had to explain this to them, and we're a licensed, audited, regulated financial institution that our law firms use for 20 years. And I had to really push back and fight for them to chill out. So I understand someone just with an LLC there that, you're not audited, licensed, don't have a piece of paper from the state that says you can do this type of business. So, that's a good recommendation.
Let me address the foreign funding issue, because we got some people here that haven't had the best experience, and you're going to experience that really with any bank. If you're trying to send funds from a U.S. bank to an exchange that is not have a U.S. banking charter, that's a foreign entity, foreign country with their headquarters in Singapore, for instance, or Hong Kong, it's not going to get approved. They're not going to send that bank. that US bank is not going to send funds to the Singapore crypto exchange. They know what it is. Like, they look it up. They have their own underwriting and risk factors in place. And the same thing would be if you're trying to buy hardware or certain ledgers and, you know, to store it. I've seen issues with that as well. They're like,
Really?
I want to buy this piece of hardware. I can only get it. It's coming from Hong Kong. I've seen them shutting that down as well. So just be careful with that stuff. Like, you know, it's not, it's, you know, we hear it all the time internally of some of the challenges that people have. So
yeah,
that's
you
just,
know what's funny? The banks are so hit and miss on this.
Yeah.
It's really all over the map, even within the banks, because you get bankers that really hate crypto. They think it's going to put them out of business. You get other banks that are really, and just a person within a bank that thinks crypto is cool. That's really a real financial person is like, I get the benefit of this and why the future is going to be crypto. And so just forget about the bank policies. There's people in these banks that will have different opinions and are going to give you more of a pain than, you know, be more of a pain to you or more of a help to you. So I'm trying to find out the ones that at least know what the heck it is and have done it before. That's we can steer you to more. But
yeah, you can try some of your credit unions if you have a good relationship with the credit union. I've heard people having luck with that too, but you know, good luck. We wish you the best.
Yeah, and that's again why clients will be like, "Oh, my bank's been such a pain in the butt, Matt." I'm like, I know, that's why we created the Crypto Ira product with Gemini. It's because it is a little clunky. It's like there's different people within each bank itself, and every bank seems to be doing a little different, and they change every quarter on what policy they want to go and how the crypto wind's flowing from a regulatory standpoint. And so, I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, last point I was going to make.
Okay.
I don't take any final questions. Is
okay, this is a big deal.
remember your tax return. If you extended, the personal return deadline is in a month. And there's a question on the 2020 tax return. Did any time in 2020 you receive, sell, exchange, or otherwise acquire any financial interest in a virtual currency? That's crypto. You have to check yes or no. Even if you didn't sell anything, you just bought crypto personally or through an entity bank personally. You're gonna have to disclose that here. What if my IRA bought it, Matt? Do I need to check it? Nope. Because your IRA's assets don't go on your personal tax return.
It's a beautiful thing, right there.
So you can check no there if you used your IRA. We've had that question coming up for clients doing their taxes. But now if you did buy personal crypto, you still have to check it. But Matt, I didn't sell it. I know, you still have to check it. There's nothing else you're gonna have to complete in terms of because you didn't sell anything. But the IRS, I hate to say it, they're throwing you on the radar. But you have to honestly answer this because you signed your tax return under penalty of perjury. So just a little tax compliance note there. Maybe it's not what I should have ended our webinar on. So how about we give you a special? How about a special?
Oh, let me say this, because we had that happen. It's not happening as much right now, but it was happening last year, where people are setting up the wrong kind of account if they went the Ira Llc structure, and the exchange was sending people a 1099.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? That was a big deal. Yeah. I don't know if I haven't seen as much of that. I did hear a few cases of that this year that happened in 2020 again. So just, oh gosh, I hate it if that does happen to you. But again, you got to make sure you're filling out the right kind of account or link with them, that it's an institutional account. It's the IRA's information and, you know, the business EIN accordingly. Like there's some nuances to it.
Yeah.
You just got to do it right.
The big problem is a lot of people were like, oh, I got my LLC money, but it's such a pain to get an account and a wallet open on the exchange. So they just do a personal one. Then they fund it with their LLC, their IRA money. Well, the exchange is sending 1099s and they sell now.
Yeah.
And how are they going to put on the 1099? You, I don't even know who the heck this LLC is. And so now you got a 1099 on your social and your accountant's like, what the hell did you do? Or you're doing your own tax return and you're like, what did I do?
Let me do like just kind of a general recap, if you will. If you'll want to do the Crypto Ira product that we have with Gemini's exchange, okay, you can totally do that. You can go to our website, open a new account. You'll see our Crypto Ira applications. Those are for the Gemini product. If you have some questions, need some help, just go to our website in the upper right-hand corner, schedule a new account, a phone appointment, 15 or 30-minute slots. Pick the day and time that works best for you, and we'd be happy to help. If you want to do the Ira Llc structure, fill out the intake form on our site. We have a specific form for that. We can get you going with that and help with the structure. Again, you'll do the IRA account with us. You're going to, KQS is going to do the LLC with you, and then we're going to fund that business bank account. Okay. Just please take note, if you do go down that route, you're looking at anywhere from I'd say 2 to 6 weeks between getting the LLC open, getting your bank account and getting set up with an exchange as an institution. So just be cognizant of that. If you're going the crypto route with Gemini, you could potentially get that done in a week, week and a half. It's all dependent on your account getting funded with your account at Directed IRA. So if it's with TD or another brokerage, you can do a wire. It'll just be a trustee to trustee transfer. But if it's coming from an old employer plan, an old 401k, they typically just want to send us an old school check. You got to call them up. You got to get their form for a rollover, and they're going to mail us a check. That usually takes a couple weeks. So I'm just kind of giving you the process and timelines, because I know everybody's super anxious, boom, I'm ready to get going, get my account open. I want to start trading. We totally get it. But, you can get the account open with us in 24 hours. That's easy. The longest part is getting the account funded, and that just takes some time. And so just be cognizant of that. So we got those 2 structures.
Yeah. And on the account side, so if you're doing the Crypto IRA with Gemini, we have an account app, Crypto IRA. There's a Roth one, an HSA, a traditional. So you're going to go the Crypto IRA. If you're going to do the IRA LLC here, or you want to do the mining stuff, you're going to do the self-directed IRA account app, because you're not buying crypto directly. Your IRA is buying an LLC. So we use the self-directed IRA app for that. So just note on that.
New LLC too. This has to be a new LLC. This isn't an old LLC or an existing LLC you have. It's a new LLC you're setting up where the IRA is the member of. Okay. Because a lot of you are asking about this, trying, how you do wrapping things up. And you're I got 5 more minutes. Yeah. You got 20 questions that'll come in. We did get through hundreds of questions, and I know we have a lot more. So again, we'd be happy to get to those. Just go set up a new account call.
Yeah.
And we do that.
Now this was recorded, and the slides will be posted with the recording. Just look for that tomorrow or Friday at the latest.
Yeah.
We'll get that up. I think by Friday morning it'll be up. And then you'll be able to download the slides from the website, and you could watch, of course, the recording on this if you missed any parts, or you want to share it with family, friends, loved ones, people you hate. I don't know.
Oh, we do have an IRA discount. Let's throw that back up there.
Yeah.
So we're totally going to hook you up.
Use this. This is still active. We've been doing these on the webinars. Saved you $50 on your new account. Just throw that in. There's a promo code section. Just write webinar 50.
Yeah.
Save you $50 on
you
your
get going for $245. Get going with crypto and a retirement account. Pretty sweet. Okay. Well, is that all we got? I think we're it. All right.
That's the show, folks. Thanks for being on, everybody. I appreciate your time. We appreciate you learning about this. We've got more resources. If you go to directedira.com and go to the Crypto IRA page, pretty easy to find from the homepage, some articles, some videos, some more detail on frequently asked questions. So use that as an additional resource too. And then sign up for our newsletter. So even if you're not a customer, go get on the newsletter, and you can get it at directedira.com
for free.
Yeah. And you'll get notified of when this webinar gets posted. You'll get notified of what we're doing in our next webinars and all that.
That'd be cool.
And share that. And we'll, we're going to let you know on this one when it's posted. We'll email everybody, of course.
Check out our referral program. We have a great referral program. A lot of you have asked if we have some type of incentive or affiliates if you send business our way, or can you get credit? Absolutely. It's on our website. It's called Refer a Friend. And we give you essentially $50 for every account that you send our way. That's it. We'll send them a copy of the #1 book in the space written by yours truly over here. So we'll send them an actual paperback copy for free, and then we'll hook you up with $50 and it'll be awesome. And if you can make it out in person to the summit, you want to travel, come see us in October in Scottsdale. So I think that's it, friends.
Yeah.
All right. Roth and roll. I just want
you beat me to it. Good job. All right. I'm going to sign off with stay calm and self-direct on.
I like that too.
Thanks, everyone.